If you're over 50 and you drink water all day but still wake up heavy, foggy, and drained by mid-afternoon, this is for you. Because the problem may not be that you're just aging. The problem might be that your water isn't actually hydrating you where it matters. It goes in, it comes out, and your cells stay thirsty. And when cells stay thirsty, circulation can feel slower, energy can drop faster, and your body can feel less responsive than it used to. In this video, I'm going to break down why plain water sometimes stops working after 50, what your body is quietly losing when you drink water the same way you did at 30, and how to build a simple hydration routine that supports steadier energy and better blood flow without extreme hacks. Stay to the end because I'll also cover the safety side most videos skip, especially if you have high blood pressure, kidney issues, or take medications that affect electrolytes. This is not medical advice, but it is practical education. And if you've been blaming your age for how you feel, what you're about to learn might change that story. Let's clear something up first. Hydration is not just about drinking water. Hydration is about whether that water actually gets into your cells and stays there long enough to support energy and circulation. When you were younger, your body handled this automatically. You could drink water, make a few mistakes, and still feel fine. After 50, that system becomes less forgiving. Many men notice the same pattern. They drink a glass of water, and within minutes, they feel the urge to urinate. They drink more, and the cycle repeats. On paper, they're hydrated. In reality, their cells are still asking for more. This happens because the body becomes less efficient at retaining fluid, and thirst signals become weaker. So dehydration builds quietly over time. That's why you can feel tired even when you're doing the right thing. It's not that water stopped being important. It's that your body now needs more support to use it properly. And if water isn't being used at the cellular level, everything that depends on circulation and recovery starts to feel slower. Now let's connect hydration to circulation. Most men think blood flow is only about how hard the heart pumps. But blood vessels are not rigid pipes. They are living tissue that must expand and relax in response to signals from the nervous system and the blood itself. When your cells are even slightly dehydrated, those signals become weaker and less efficient. When that happens, blood vessels tend to stay tighter than they should. Blood still moves, but it doesn't move as freely or as quickly. Over time, this can show up as cold hands and feet, slower warm-ups in the morning, and energy that fades earlier in the day. It can also affect areas of the body that rely heavily on strong, responsive circulation. This doesn't mean something is broken. It means the system is operating in a conservation mode. The body tightens, protects, and slows things down when resources feel limited. Proper hydration at the cellular level helps signal safety again, allowing circulation to open and energy to flow more naturally. This is where most men get confused. They assume that if they're drinking water, hydration is handled. But water alone is only part of the equation. For water to actually hydrate your cells, your body relies on electrolytes, minerals that carry electrical signals throughout the system. Without those signals, water can pass straight through without doing much work. Think of your body like a network. Water is the flow, but minerals are the switches that tell the flow where to go. When those switches are weak or missing, the system runs inefficiently. You may feel hydrated for a moment, but your deeper energy never comes back. Over time, this leads to the feeling that your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, even though you're trying. This is why the goal after 50 is not to drink more water, but to drink water that your body can actually use. Once you understand that shift, hydration stops being frustrating and starts becoming supportive again. So the goal is not to force more water into your body. The goal is to make your water count. After 50, your body needs clearer signals to move water into cells and keep it there. When those signals are missing, drinking more can actually make you feel worse, not better. Many men describe this as water going straight through them. They drink, they urinate, and nothing changes. That's often a sign that the mineral balance needed to hold water is low. And when this happens day after day, circulation begins to feel slower and energy fades more quickly. This is why smarter hydration becomes more important than sheer volume. A small adjustment in how you hydrate can support steadier energy, better circulation, and a body that feels more responsive again, without extreme routines or complicated rules. Now let's talk about the first mineral that often makes the biggest difference for men over 50, magnesium. Magnesium is sometimes called the relaxation mineral because it helps muscles, nerves, and blood vessels release tension. When magnesium is low, the body tends to stay in a tighter, more stressed state, even at rest. Many men with low magnesium don't realize it. They just notice restless sleep, muscle tightness, nighttime cramps, or a feeling of being wired but tired. Over time, that tension can affect circulation because blood vessels that don't fully relax can't deliver blood as smoothly as they should. Supporting magnesium isn't about chasing a miracle. It's about restoring a basic signal that tells your body it's safe to relax. And when the system relaxes, circulation and energy can begin to feel more natural again. The safest way to support magnesium is to start with food. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and other whole foods naturally provide magnesium in forms your body recognizes. But many men today eat fewer of these foods, sleep less, and live under constant stress, all of which can drain magnesium over time. Some men choose magnesium supplements, often forms like glycinate or citrate, and many notice benefits when they start low and stay consistent. The key is moderation and awareness. Too much can upset digestion, and if you have kidney problems, magnesium supplements should only be used with medical guidance. One important thing to understand is that magnesium works best when the habits that drain it are also addressed. Better sleep, earlier hydration, and lower stress allow magnesium to actually do its job instead of fighting an uphill battle. Now let's talk about sodium, the mineral that causes the most confusion. Sodium has a bad reputation because too much of it, especially from processed foods, can create problems. But sodium itself is not the enemy. It's an essential electrolyte that helps your body retain fluid and move water into cells. When sodium is too low, water doesn't stay where you need it. You drink, then you urinate shortly after, and your deeper tissues remain underhydrated. That's why some men feel like plain water never really satisfies them. A very small amount of sodium can help water stick and become usable fuel instead of just passing through. The key here is dosage and quality. This is not about salty water or excess intake. It's about giving your body just enough signal to recognize and use the water you drink, especially first thing in the morning. This only works when the amount is small. You are not trying to drink salt water. You are adding a tiny pinch, just enough to support hydration without overwhelming the system. Think of it as giving water a direction, not changing its taste. When done correctly, many men notice steadier energy and less of that drained feeling later in the day. But this step is not for everyone. If you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, kidney disease, heart failure, swelling issues, or you've been told by your doctor to limit salt, this is not something to experiment with on your own. Smarter hydration always includes knowing when not to push. Used carefully, sodium can help water work better. Used carelessly, it can cause problems. The goal is balance, not extremes. The third mineral is potassium. And this one works quietly in the background. Potassium helps maintain electrical rhythm in the body, including how your heart beats and how your blood vessels respond. When potassium levels are balanced, circulation feels smoother and more responsive. When they're low, the system can feel flat and strained. Many men slowly lose potassium support because they eat fewer fresh foods and rely more on processed meals over time. This creates an imbalance where sodium is high and potassium is low, which makes circulation work harder than it should. Restoring that balance can help the body feel steadier and more grounded. The safest place to start with potassium is food. Fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole foods naturally supply it in a form the body knows how to handle. Supplements and electrolyte powders can help in certain situations, like heavy sweating. But potassium should always be respected and never pushed aggressively. Potassium is powerful, which means it needs to be handled with care. For men with kidney issues, or those taking certain blood pressure or heart medications, too much potassium can become dangerous. That's why guessing or megadosing is never a good idea. Balance matters more than quantity. For most men, simply increasing potassium-rich foods and using a light electrolyte blend after heavy sweating is enough. When potassium and sodium are balanced, the heart doesn't have to work as hard, blood vessels respond more smoothly, and circulation feels more stable throughout the day. This balance is one of the quiet reasons some men feel calmer, lighter, and more energized when hydration finally clicks. The goal here isn't to chase numbers. It's to support a rhythm your body already understands and wants to return to. Here's how all of this comes together in a simple, realistic routine. Not something extreme, not something you have to think about all day. Just a few small habits that help your body use water the way it's supposed to. Start your morning with a large glass of water. If you're an appropriate candidate, add a tiny pinch of mineral salt. This gives your system a signal early in the day that hydration is available and safe to use. After that, hydrate steadily instead of chugging large amounts at once. Let your body absorb and adjust. Support magnesium through food and, if it fits you, gentle supplementation. On days you sweat more, move more, or spend time in heat, that's when a balanced electrolyte mix can make the biggest difference. This routine isn't about control. It's about cooperation with your body. When hydration finally starts working at the cellular level, the changes are usually subtle but meaningful. You may notice mornings feel lighter instead of heavy. Your mind clears faster. The afternoon energy crash softens. Your hands and feet feel warmer. Your body feels more responsive instead of sluggish. These are not dramatic overnight transformations. They are signs that circulation and energy are no longer fighting uphill. Most men are surprised by how quickly these small shifts appear, often within 1 or 2 weeks of consistent habits. Not because they found a secret trick, but because they removed a basic limitation their body had been dealing with quietly for years. When hydration improves, many other systems begin to work more smoothly without extra effort. It's important to be clear about what this approach can and cannot do. This is not a cure for medical conditions, and it does not replace professional care. If you have diabetes, vascular disease, heart conditions, or ongoing symptoms, those still require proper medical attention. Hydration supports the system, but it doesn't override underlying disease. What this approach can do is help your body operate closer to its normal baseline. It removes friction. It gives circulation, nerves, and muscles the basic resources they rely on every day. For many men, that alone is enough to feel like their body is finally working with them again instead of against them. So here's the real takeaway. Vitality after 50 isn't gone. In many cases, it's just delayed by dehydration you can't feel and mineral depletion you never notice. When you give your body the right signals, it often responds faster than you expect. Not because you're forcing it, but because you're finally supporting it. Tomorrow morning, don't just drink water and hope for the best. Drink water with intention. Start simple. Pay attention to how your body responds. And remember, smarter hydration is not about extremes or trends. It's about helping your body do what it already knows how to do. If this resonated with you, stay with the channel. In the next video, I'll break down the most common hydration mistake men over 50 make that actually drains energy faster, even when they think they're doing everything right.